Hello and welcome back to Total War Attila. This is another online battle. I think it's my second go as the Vandals now, take on the Danes. Now my opponent said it was his first online battle, and well yeah, he was a very nice guy, my opponent. Yeah, his first battle apparently. And that was a nice easy match for him. You can see the armies there. I'll go through them in more detail on the battlefield, but okay, so he outnumbered me quite a bit, but he's brought a front line of spears, and not particularly good spears, apart from at the sides where he's got spear masters. He has some Viking raiders and some Nordic warriors, and his no, they're not. They're Norse berserkers. He's got a general's unit as the Viking captain, and he has two Nordic horse lords on this flank, and Nordic mounted raiders on this. My army is pretty bloody simple. I have 4 noble Swoby. I got that completely wrong, didn't I? No, 4 noble Swoby swordsmen, 2 Germanic spears in each flank, 2 archers just to skirmish a little, and 2 Vandal berserkers, which I love. I love the berserkers. I took I normally just go for the tier 1 general, but I went for a slightly stronger general for a little bit of killing power behind my lines in case it gets behind, and I dumped all 3 of my noble Germanic horsemen on one flank. Now, I wasn't particularly eager to go charging off into here, because on this map I hid some units in here. In fact, I hid Vandal berserkers in there, 2 of them, and they turned out to be quite good hidden. So I didn't really want to go near the forest, and I was concerned he'd hidden some in there. But so I'm trying to approach at an angle. I'm very confident that I'm going to win the centre. My men should crush his spears. The flanks I'm a little bit more worried about, especially this one. I've only got a spear, then 3 cavalry against 2 cavalry and 2 sword units, and an axe unit. Same in this unit, he is an axe unit, a very good one, and 2 excellent Nordic horse lords.
The enemy draws near!
So, I'd go for the hill, like this little bit of hill, for 2 reasons. One is, well, it's a hill. You want the hill, don't you? And 2 is it's gonna nullify the charge of these horse lords, because unless they come all the way around here, they're gonna have to charge uphill into my Vandal berserkers, my spear, and my general's unit. So trying to nullify this flank. So I'll just speed up them in the marching. Nice looking units. This is a mistake he makes, and he starts to run his troops and march them. Well, not really, but it gets to the point where they start getting exhausted. Well, not exhausted. They get winded and tired. A mix of winded, tired. Although they're still fresh at the moment. Yeah, this march takes rather long time. So yeah, he's kept his cavalry way over there, I'm not sure, and he's going to loop round with them over here, and I'm not sure why I just didn't keep them there, but maybe he was hoping I'd forget about them and catch me off guard. Anyway, so as you can see here, as you can't see here, they're starting to become active and even tired at some points eventually. So I'm thinking I might as well capitalise this, and I start running my men into the fight soon to try and catch the enemy tired. Any minute now. Yeah, they're winded. So any minute now I start attacking. Yeah, so active troops probably not the best, as mine are all fresh, so I'm thinking I'm definitely going to win the infantry engagement now. It's just what do I do about his flanking units. So yeah, I notice now that his units are pretty tired, so I start charging my men. I was planning on just holding my cavalry in reserve, and if his men tried to get through, I'd charge them. And because we're at the red line here, there's not much flanking he can do. Again, here, these are just going to be mostly reserve units for when his own units try to flank mine, so that they would have to come round here and uphill, so my men are going to have an uphill, well, a slight uphill advantage.
Get moving!
So I'm charging my swords, which are easily in. He can't just let this engagement happen and not engage his flanks, because then all that's going to happen is he's lost all his spear units, and I've still got most of my men. So he's going to have to use his flanking units. Now I noticed sword units, and I'm going to charge my cavalry into these sword units because I remembered how effective cavalry charge are against unbraced infantry, and I'm going to busy these two cavalry units with this one. As you can see, here come his Nordic horse lords round there. Now I'm focusing fire on his general's unit, or at least trying to. I'm not going to be too successful. The infantry fight is, it says combat even, but as you can see by the numbers game, it is swinging my way. And yeah, so that charge, oh wow, as you can see, that was a pretty smart move on my part, and I've just decimated these two units. This unit's not doing so well against two enemy cavalry units, but oh, I was planning on getting a charge there but didn't quite get a charge, but no matter, I'm still gonna win that. And here I'm trying to route this arch unit, but he's going to move these Viking raiders in, and that's not really a fight I'm looking for. And so I'm going to move them round here and circle off these cavalry into a nice little hole. Down here, as I said, his Nordic warriors have tried to come round, and his berserkers, I think they are. Yeah, and it's a battle of the berserkers, and my Vandal ones are winning quite decisively. I don't know whether that's the hill or maybe they're just better units. I did use Berserk and Rapid Advance to give them the best charge down the hill possible. Now I see these two very dangerous cav units coming, but in Attila, units don't have much stamina, and he has run them all the way around. So they're exhausted and are not going to play as big a role as they should have if they had been. So this arch unit's going to come back, and I think it's going to get quite a few kills on my flanks here. I'm going to try and stop that, but I'm horrible with archers. I never seem to have much success. So the fight's pretty much going as I expected to. I'm slowly winning in the centre. I've wrapped up both flanks quite successfully.
Our unit has gone berserk.
I don't know, yeah, he charges his cavalry into there, so I'm just going to let my spears catch them. And I'm going to get the charge on this exhausted cavalry unit. Excuse me. Yep, and that fight is going to just go better than I thought it was going. I was worried I was going to lose my general and morale lost there. Now, I was quite impressed with these units. Like, I thought they were going to be really easy, like skirmisher cav, because I thought they were like cav, but they actually performed quite well against my cavalry, so yeah, I might have to try that unit out. Yeah, he's not really used these Viking raiders, I'm not really allowed him to. But it was his first game, as I said, so, and I think he performed bloody well for his first game, certainly better than I did. Mind you, I don't know what I'm sending these Germanic spears over. I'm going to try and wrap up these archers. Now his Viking captain is going to come in and is probably going to get quite a few kills, my berserkers. But because they're out of control, they're not going to rout, which is going to be pretty good for me. These are also out of control, and they've taken quite a few losses from the cavalry, but they're still alright. I'm going to start firing my archers into the backs, but this arch unit is fleeing. I've won the cavalry fight, and they're going to come in, mop up the archers, that sword unit, and then are going to come in and help here. This fight is going to drag on for quite a while, but I'm winning it. And yeah, as the guy said, the battle is pretty much in my favour. As you can see here, definitely go. I've only lost 8 horses, which I'm very surprised at. Like mine are medium and his are heavy. I think it must be because of the exhaustion. It's just don't let your men get exhausted. Exhausted? No, exhausted. So yeah, wrapping up the archers. Oh, my berserkers did rout at last, but I've got more men just to throw in. Those archers are gone, and all of these men are going to come over here. Oh no, they're not actually. The battle's going to end before they get there, so nothing much else to see here. Yeah, moving my general round now. Yep, and they're gone.
The men have gone berserk!
Yep, so let's look at the statistics. As you can see here, his spears didn't get the kills at all. I mean, they held for quite a long time, longer than I wanted them to, but they just didn't get any kills. My archers weren't worth the money. Although they did distract some of his archers, so I guess you could argue they were. I don't know what happened to this cavalry unit, but these two did phenomenally. My spears did okay. So basically, all my units, apart from my archers, did okay, and none of his units really performed that well, apart from this group of archers. All the rest did okay. Like, these Nordic horse lords didn't do anything, and that cost them, because that's about, I don't know how much it is, about 1800 gold on 2 units that only got 34 kills between them. The mounted raiders did better against my cavalry. They were the 2 men that got charged by my cavalry. The one that got into the flanks of my berserkers, or no, they just did a straight up fight my berserkers, did better. And yeah, the Norse berserkers did actually worse than the Nordic warriors against the berserkers. That's interesting. Well yeah, thanks for watching, good game to my opponent, and see you next time.